99X, we are the Morning X. It's Barnes, it's Leslie, and this is really cool. There's a class coming up at Kennesaw State University that's all about mixing. It's called Practical Recording, Mixing, and Mastering Techniques with Karl Heilbron. And this guy, I mean, really, if you're going to get someone to teach a class, I need you to do a little better than this. This guy's recorded with Pearl Jam, Rage Against the Machine, Soundgarden, Stone Temple Pilots. I mean, really, get someone who actually has worked on something credible before you do it. And then bring me someone that has awards. This guy's only been nominated for Grammys. What are those? I'm just kidding. Please welcome to the show your teacher, your professor, Karl Heilbron. How are you, Karl?
I'm great. How are you?
Doing good, dude. This is quite a story you have and a storied career.
Yeah, it's been great. It's been interesting for sure. I mean, the journey, the travel. Yeah.
Karl, you had started like in the early 90s when 99X was around at Southern Tracks. We did some live X's over there. Do you remember 99X?
I do, yes. I remember when I first got to Atlanta, like 92. I think you guys had either just started.
Yeah, just started.
The station, or it was about to start. And it was a big deal because you guys played what we all wanted to hear, and there was really nowhere to hear it. Atlanta was just now, at that time, was starting to get dominated by R&B. In the recording studio and on the air. So anything that was outside of that we loved it. And I was super happy to do a couple of 99X live things as well. So.
Well, you contributed to so many great albums, one being Super Unknown with Soundgarden, and of course they won a Grammy on that album for Black Hole Sun, which you contributed on that song. And what will you be teaching? This is very interesting to me, and I bet a lot of people listening, because our people love music so much. What will you be teaching in this class on the 21st? Like, what will be happening?
Yeah, so basically it's a great setup. We all have DAW stations, so they'll be basically seeing what I'm doing. I'm going to open up sessions from the very beginning, templates that I've used, from everybody, from Jay-Z to Jeezy to, the Pearl Jam guys. And I kept all that stuff, so
wow.
I have, we can just open those up and I'll show them exactly how it is, and I'll teach them how to track vocals very fast and efficiently so the artists, can hang in and get their vibe. And then we'll run it all the way down to mixing and mastering at the end.
That is so awesome. How often do you get with someone like Karl?
With your credentials, I know. And I love what they're doing. I do want to do a shout out for the Joel A. Katz Music and Business Entertainment Program at Kennesaw State University. So, Karl, how can somebody sign up for this course?
There's a couple ways. There's a link on basically all their social media pages to be able to link to and then sign up for the classes. There was talk of it possibly being online as well, but I'm not really sure if that's going to happen after the class happens.
Okay.
We're working out some technical things, but the guys at Kennesaw State have been great, and I'm sure with their great minds, we'll figure out how to make all that work.
We'll put this on the Morning X page at 99x.com, and we'll link through to all your links. I mean, it's not just rock. I mean, you've worked with Kanye West, Jay-Z, Snoop, Rick Ross, all that. It's unbelievable, the credentials that you bring. But I want to talk more about our crowd. And when you worked on Pearl Jam, which album did you work on?
It was supposed to be demos for Versus.
Oh,
for Versus.
When they were on tour with Lollapalooza, they stopped by and after their show in Atlanta.
And this was when the studio was on Claremont?
Yeah, correct.
God, that little house. I remember going there to do live access like with Stone Temple Pilots.
Brendan O'Brien, remember?
Right. What is a crazy Pearl Jam story? Like, I mean, here you are. You're up close and personal, intimate with these guys, making incredible historical music. What pops into your mind, like, when you think of Eddie Vedder? Like, any moment that you had with him that, like, no one would believe?
Yeah. One of the interesting ones was I was chief engineer of Southern Tracks, so that made me second engineer behind Nick Didia, who actually engineered the projects.
Huge, yeah.
This one day, Nick was out working on another record, so we didn't have him. So it was basically just me and Brendan. So later on that night when we were done, when the first day, it was me, and I was basically just downstairs, picking up, stuff from the day's craziness, cleaning up the studio, which is one of my jobs before I left the studio. And I'm doing that, and I noticed that Eddie just kind of comes stumbling down the steps and was like talking about, hey, where's everybody at? And then so that turned into a thing where I was like, oh, well, everybody just left, in the van. The van came and picked him up, and he was like, oh, man, nobody told me. So I was like, well, I'm trying to figure out like how we can fix the situation.
You're consoling Eddie Vedder because the band left in the van and left him behind.
Right.
Sound like someone left their kid at swim practice.
Exactly. And what was funny, he didn't seem concerned about it too much. Like, he seemed like that probably happens a few times before that, because he didn't seem like he was freaked out at all about it. So we went down. I was in the studio. He walked in and he said, "Hey, could you play? Any of the songs still up?" And I said, "Yeah, that slow one. None of these songs had titles at that point." So he goes, "Oh, let me hear it." So we sat down at the console and I played it. And he goes, "I want to track a vocal. Can you do that?" And without really thinking, I was like, "Well, sure. I can do that." Thinking again that he was just going to say, "Oh yeah, don't worry about it. We'll just pick it up tomorrow or whatever." So he grabbed a cup of coffee, went into the vocal booth, lit a bunch of little candles that we had around the vocal booth, and basically just sat down on the floor with the mic in his hand and sang that song down. One take, really. We just did it. I just assumed it was going to be some kind of like guide track or something, that he was just getting his ideas down. And then it wasn't until later when the record came out and I listened to it, I was like, wow, that's a lot of what we recorded. They didn't redo the track. They basically kept it how it was. Brendan had already played organ parts on it.
When you're talking about the slow one, you're talking about Indifference?
Indifference, correct, yeah.
Dude, you were left alone. I'm trying to just picture
Visually,
this.
I'm with you, Barnes.
You're left with Eddie Vedder. The team leaves. Brendan O'Brien's not there. And he's like, "Hey, can we go ahead and do this?" And you're like, yeah, sure, man. You're hitting record on a freaking unbelievable masterpiece of an album. Dude goes in, lays it down. Here, hold on. I'm pulling the song. I want to play. So all that happened. He goes in the booth. Well, I'm going to play like a verse here. That he does this, walks out, and then it's like, "Peace out, we're done."
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, he listened to it maybe he didn't even listen to it all the way through. He listened to maybe like the second half of it, and it was like, okay, great.
Let's listen to just a little bit of it. Here's the song that Eddie Vedder recorded after what you just heard. Wow, that just blows my mind. I've listened to that record a million times, and now you painting in that context of this was just like this moment. He's like felt it, went in and recorded that. Dude, that is wild.
You didn't start a business just to keep the lights on. You're here to sell more today than yesterday. You're here to win. Lucky for you, Shopify built the best converting checkout on the planet. Like the just one tapping, ridiculously fast acting, sky-high sales stacking, champion of checkouts. That's the good stuff right there. So if your business is in it to win it, win with Shopify. Start your free trial today at shopify.com/win.
Most people don't realize how much of their personal information is being bought and sold every day. Data brokers are making billions pulling details about you from public records and the internet, then packaging and selling it, usually without your consent. That's how your information lands in the hands of scammers, spammers, even stalkers. It's why you get endless robocalls and why ads seem to follow you everywhere. That's where Aura comes in. Aura actively removes your data from broker sites and keeps it off. They also instantly alert you if your information shows up in a breach or on the dark web. But Aura goes beyond data protection. With one app, you get a VPN, antivirus, password manager, spam call protection, dark web monitoring, and even up to $5 million in identity theft insurance. All backed by 24/7 US-based fraud support. Other companies might just sell credit monitoring or just a VPN. Aura gives you all of it together at the same price competitors charge for just one service. Start your free trial today at aura.com/secure. Protect yourself now at aura.com/secure.
Every week on the Stacking Benjamins podcast, we talk personal finance trends.
Not paying attention to the headlines is the strategy proven to work.
One headline, economists fear global recession. Literally the next headline, stocks hit all-time highs, investors optimistic on the future.
They're even doing it to the weather now. 28 million people in the path of this snowstorm. That means 340 million people have got good weather. It's just weather.
Layers, people, layers.
Stacking Benjamins. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
So, Karl, walk us through this. What happens after this? Eddie leaves? I mean, what happens?
Yeah, how does he get home?
This is actually the funny part of the whole thing. It's not like, I was fairly new to recording at that moment. Like working at Southern Tracks was my first really big studio that I was working at. So it wasn't like I was calm about anything that just happened. I was like losing my mind. Trying to remain calm on the outside, which is something you learn to do, but really I wasn't. And then I was like, well, he was like, okay, well, I go, do you want me to call you a cab? Do you want me to call your tour manager and ask him? And he goes, well, how how, he goes, you don't live here, do you? And I go, no, you know, I live a little bit outside of town. I actually live in Canton then. And he goes, well, you know, I go, I could give you a ride if you want, thinking there's no way that he's going to accept that.
He's going to be like, sure.
Yeah. He was like, okay, that's fine. And and then I remember going, okay, cool. And I remember finishing up what I was doing and thinking literally like, I can't believe this is what's about to happen. So yeah, I locked up the studio. We left the room. I jumped in my car, my bad shape 72 BMW that I was driving. And I drove him to the hotel. It was crazy. We pulled up to the corner.
What hotel?
Oh, he was staying at it was a place that was on 10th Street. It's renamed, so.
Okay.
And then we pulled up to the corner, and people were like, freaking out in the car next to me, of course, because there's Eddie Vedder. He just played the night before, so, and that was definitely an interesting moment. I dropped him off at the hotel. He said thank you very much, and that was it.
Oh my God! So that was our Fox show that they allowed us to broadcast.
We made 1,000 albums out of it.
So, I think it was actually.
Carl, were you listening to 99X as you drove him to the hotel?
I probably was actually, because my radio pretty much stayed on that. Yeah,
dude, chills. This is what an unbelievable. Are you going to tell some stories like that during this class?
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, people ask me questions about artists that I've recorded and how the situations were, and they always seem surprised that I'm always like, you guys have to understand that at the moment I was freaking out. But
of course,
now I can tell the story and laugh at that situation. But it's not like we're all like super cool and and chill while it's happening.
What
it's
a
not
story.
like we don't realize what's happening as it's happening. So.
That's awesome. All right, this class will be the 21st and 22nd, Kennesaw State University. Just go over to our page, Morning X page at 99x.com, and you can learn from Karl Heilbron, who has lots of stories and lots of cred. And Karl, thank you. That was freaking incredible.
Thanks for sharing.
No, you're very welcome. This is an honor. I've listened to you guys forever, so yeah, it's great to see you and talk to you. Yep.
Thank you so much. That's coming up February 21st and 22nd, Kennesaw State University, Joel A. Katz Music and Entertainment Business Program.
Mic Drop.
You ready?
Let's do it. Hosted by former Navy SEAL Mike Ridland. It's unfiltered.
You go to the sound of the gun, bam, you're gone.
It's weird. I mean, I've had so many near-death experiences.
It's raw.
I love this country. I offered my life to serve this nation and protect its people.
The question, what's the meaning of life? And to me, it just boils down to one single word, which is purpose.
Mic Drop. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.